Hey everybody, in a moment we'll be doing the rest of the AMA, getting the final questions done, but this is not another week without a new Escape This Podcast release. There is a new Escape This Podcast, asterisks, addendums.
Just a special one.
We have a video special of new guests playing an old room. I won't spoil which one, but we have a bunch of guests, 4 members from the cast of ITV's The Genius Game, a British adaptation of the Korean game show Genius. They're puzzle-loving escape room freaks. They're great, but they have a lot of fun playing an old room from our back catalogue. And the whole thing's in video. You can see their faces as they puzzle out their conundrums. You can see the images without having to click on the show notes.
And you even did a nice little room map.
And I even did a nice little handmade room map for you. That is available now on our YouTube channel. I've linked the video below in the show notes, so there's one show notes link you have to click, but give it a go or search Escape This Podcast Genius video on YouTube. It'll pop up. And if it doesn't, call me and I'll send you the link. Go and check it out. It was a lot of fun. It was, oh my gosh, so much harder to edit than it is to edit audio. I don't know why anybody works in video. It's a format for crazy people. But I think it's come out really well. Check it out. It's very enjoyable. And depending on how well it does, if people enjoy it and they watch it and they like it, we might do more.
I think we brought that up in one of our AMA weeks.
Yeah, if you watch it, if you don't watch it,
it's not going to be something that we pivot too hard.
It will never replace actual Escape This Podcast. As you can see already, it's a fun, different take by going back through old rooms and doing them again. But there aren't going to be rooms that are specific to any kind of video special. And if nobody watches it, there ain't going to be no more video specials anyway. So, but I think it's fun. Go check it out.
You're taking me back to my fan fiction days. I'll release chapter 2 if I get 5 reviews.
We'll release another video special if we get 10,000 views on that video special.
I'd definitely put myself lower than that.
I'm putting it at 10,000.
If we have good guests, I would go much lower than that.
I'm saying if we don't get 1,000 likes and 10,000 views, we'll never do another.
Right.
Maybe that's probably not true.
You heard it here first.
And never again. But go and check it out. That's come out just this week. It's come out at the same time as this episode. Actually, maybe a few hours earlier. So you can maybe you've already seen it. But go and check it out.
And raise those views.
Have a lot of fun with it. Enjoy it. Do whatever. We're not looking for you. I'm not going to tell you to like and subscribe to the channel and comment and stuff because we're not. I don't really mind if we do well on YouTube or not. But it's just a bit of fun. So go and check it out. The guests are great, and one of them you'll be seeing or hearing rather again very soon. Also known as next week. But don't worry about that. That's next week when the regular Escape This Podcast episodes start again. That's now out of the way.
We got to speed through the rest of this AMA. We're almost finished.
We're gonna do more. Here we go. As quick as possible.
First
Ready?
one from D. It's for you, Bill.
All right, let's go.
When doing a playtest or the other first time that you get to play one of Danny's rooms, what do you look forward to the most?
Interesting. I will say when I do the episodes, the thing I look forward to the most is filling in all the gaps of story that I missed during the playtest.
Oh, yeah, because I usually don't tell you
leave
much
story
introduction
out.
and I never tell you the conclusion.
So some of the stuff that you're best at, I don't actually experience when it comes to doing the playtest because you will deliberately wait and have me experience it with the players. In terms of what I look forward to the most in a playtest, it depends. Often it's to know the setting because I usually won't even know that before we go. There's always some fun puzzle. What I'll really like is sometimes when you're making it, you will comment on something that you're doing, and that's what you'll be like, oh, I'm looking up like martinis for some reason. This is so weird. This is going to be very strange, but I think it might work. And then I'll be looking forward to that. So sometimes it's specific to each room because you'll give me vague little hints as you go. And people who pay attention to the playtests, I always forget them anyway because Danny will say, you know what's coming here? And I'll go, what? But when I remember, I started getting excited again.
You just spelled out the word martini. Yeah. God.
But I do like those. I like that little teaser.
Nice. And I have the follow-up question. When you go into a playtest, what's the most helpful kind of feedback you get from Bill?
Oh, that's for you, yes.
Yes, that is for me. I would say that the best thing is, well, one, I'm glad that we've gotten into a place generally where I don't feel too hurt by your feedback. Everyone who's ever created stuff knows that there's that phase where
Yeah.
it hurts to hear stuff. It doesn't matter how benign it is, it wounds you. Yeah, and, I've been writing since I was a small child. I spent a lot of years like that. And I feel good that I finally hit a point where that's okay. I might push back on some of it, but I don't think I'm typically hurt by it. But the most useful stuff, I would say, are if you spot things that can accidentally be connected to each other.
I was going to say the same thing.
When they weren't intended to be. They're like, I've accidentally used 2 things that were the same shade of green, or 3 things that mention the number 4 in them.
2 unrelated pictures that are only made of the same 3 colours.
Yes.
I'll be like, ooh, these are the same 3 colours. Oh no.
And those sorts of things, when you're coming up with puzzles, they're really easy to accidentally put in. And
you don't see them till you see the full picture of the room all in order.
And it makes you feel so bad when you are designing puzzles to have someone go, these things are definitely connected, I'm sure of it. And
they'd never do this if it wasn't connected. That would be foolish.
You feel really bad when you just tell people, no, I'm sorry, like, you have no reason to not think that way, but you're wrong. Like, telling people they're wrong sucks. I want people to get things right and be happy about it and feel accomplished. And being able to eliminate as many of those worlds, well, not making it easy, but eliminating moments where that could happen. That's been a terrible mistake. I think that one example of that was way back Descent of the Culledons. There were a couple of instances of 5s or something that got used. Like, there was a number of stairs going down to the basement that accidentally matched a number of pictures on a wall or files in a file cabinet, something like that. And they just, oops. And it would have just been so easy to say, great, add one more step.
Yeah. Well.
And it's incredibly helpful to have that sort of feedback. Just finding things that feel like they link. It doesn't even have to be as overt as that, but things that feel like they connect, or just wrong flow that I have accidentally included.
Yeah.
And one for both of us.
Yes, I have got out my notes for this.
Oh, excellent. Which letter of the alphabet are you most trepidatious for in Solve This Murder?
So for people who don't listen to Solve This Murder, which you should if you haven't, it's our other show where we do murder mysteries. We name each murder mystery
in an alliterative
an
fashion.
alliterative lettered name. So as of now, as of the current moment, obviously we don't name the ones that we're adapting from other works, but the ones that we are original, we have The Actor's Assassination, The Body on the Beach, The Drowning at the Dinner Party, The Furtive Fiend, The Hairdresser Homicide, The In-Flight Incident.
Seeing if I can remember them.
The Murdered Medium.
Sure.
The Poison in the Pacific.
Nice.
Rope and the Rich Kids.
Yes.
Slain Singer.
Of course.
And V, Virtual Victim. I believe the next one that I am writing will take T.
Okay, that's nice. Getting the common ones out of the way. Which one am I most trepidatious about? I would say, like, obviously, you've got Q and X, not because I don't think they can be done, but because I don't know how they're going to be done without sounding really forced.
People get killed while studying Persian history. It's the Xerxes exam.
That's beautiful. Can you do that for Q?
The
quartered queen?
People go missing in Mesoamerica, and they think the god of thunder did it. It's the Quetzalcoatl query. The Quetzalcoatl question.
Query's cool.
Questionable query is great for Q.
Okay,
That's
you know
easy.
what? Yeah, Q's fine.
The quintessential question. Are they dead?
Maybe Zed's going to be the problem because Zed sounds too funny. Doesn't sound like you're taking it seriously.
No, but I don't think I'm trepidatious. Oh, you know what? I reckon I'm secretly... No, I'm not. I was going to say K, but killing is a very easy word. What about J?
J is okay.
There aren't many words that start with J.
I mean, there are lots of words that
Jeopardy.
start with J. Oh, beautiful. That's a good one.
Jalopy? What if it's got a jalopy in it?
What's a jalopy?
I think it's like a slang word for a car. Like a jalopy,
okay.
Right? Or is it a type of car? I don't know.
I'm really not sure.
A jalopy.
What about you? What's you gonna do? I mean, under unknown, those sorts of things.
Yeah, unknown. Oh, yeah, unknown assailant. Yeah, there's plenty of options.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm trepidatious for any of them. I don't even know if I will use T for my next one. I just what came to mind.
I have been thinking about my next one, so it's good to know that you've got a list because I wasn't sure
I
what
got a
had
list.
available to
I
me.
can check it twice.
All right, next one from S.
Yep.
Ooh, okay. Back to Taskmaster. Who is your favorite Taskmaster's assistant, and who's your favorite Taskmaster out of any version?
Now, I will say, in terms of what we're comparing, our real Taskmaster experience is the original, the single season of the American version, the Australian version, the New Zealand version.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we've watched. Really, original Australia, New Zealand.
Yes.
We haven't watched Basti Test. We haven't watched
so much.
all the various
There's an Italy
European
now.
ones. Haven't watched them.
No.
So none of those are even factoring into this question. Maybe they're the best. It doesn't matter. Really, it's between the three.
And it is not an easy question. That is the best thing about these three key versions, UK, Oz, NES, is that they have not stepped on each other's toes.
Now, given that we have no personal relationship with Tom Cashman,
oh, sure.
he's the worst of the
Yeah,
three.
absolutely.
Get out of here, Tom. You have him in our show. We haven't hung out. We haven't chatted. We're not friends. So therefore,
Apparently we are friends of friends, and yet...
we're friends of friends. But by definition, you can't be our favourite because we like hanging out with the other two.
If you don't like it, then come on our
Yeah, if you
show and
don't like
complain
it-
to our faces.
If you don't like it, come hang out with us. I don't. Whatever. Maybe you'll be back in the mix.
I really enjoy the way that his character comes across on the show.
Yeah, I do like that they're all distinct. I mean, look, for me, it's Alex's show, and
Which brings its own
You know?
just behind the scenes energy.
I will say, I think Greg is the best Taskmaster because I
Yes.
think his is
That's fair.
a role that is subtly interesting, and a lot of people start by trying to emulate it by thinking the point is to be tyrannical and
But he is
odd and take. But
he's just a
he has
cheeky man.
He has a playfulness that I think other people don't quite. And I think people get their best as Taskmaster. I think it's harder for the Taskmasters to be good because they're kind of not quite sure what the role is for. And I think when they start to be their own version of Greg Davis, like that's when they get good. By being like, let me be me and act more fun
They
and
need
silly.
to
like,
relax
I'm
into
enjoy-
the big
yes,
old chair.
when they relax, and just by virtue of, he fits the role so perfectly. It's got to be Greg. I just think he didn't have to relax into who he was. He was who he was, which made the role, and everyone else has to spend some time figuring out, like, oh, I'm going to be the Greg. Wait, no, that's not quite how it. It's a harder archetype to find the right level of it, and Greg does it perfectly.
You know what I find the funny commonality of the three Taskmaster's assistants is that people describe them like as the fun of it is, oh, look at this shrivelly nerd. That's the right adjective, right?
No,
and
but
yet
sure.
there is always handful of tasks where it's, oh my God, you're a freaking athlete.
Yeah, you're good at this.
How did this happen? I thought I was going to destroy you.
But yeah, I would never compare. But when I do compare, that's what happens, I guess. All
They're
right.
so great, and I'm so happy that they're so great.
Next question.
Okay, this one is also coming back from D. When will the hint ghost come back?
Hint Ghost gets brought up a weird amount lately. I don't know when I stopped being the Hint Ghost. So for
Pretty
people
quickly.
who are more recent listeners who aren't like backlog listeners, but are listening to the AMA, to the 5th AMA, but you haven't gone through our backlog, you've got strange priorities. For people who are there, when the show started, I would be the same role as I am, but I would be canonically a hint ghost who would give hints as a ghost.
In theory.
I don't think we ever planned out the concept of hint ghost. I
No.
just said it in the first episode and it stuck for a while.
In theory, it
Hint
hasn't
ghosts are still here.
changed.
They're just less
It's just getting more
obvious.
of an identity. You know how when ghosts spend too much time on Earth,
Most
they
of his
start
business
to
is finished.
They start to like solidify.
Mm.
I think that's what's happening to you.
That's fair. But
You're
no,
remembering some of your
it's
old
been
personality.
Do you know what I think the hint ghost is most similar to in the world of podcasting? The off-menu genie.
I get what you mean.
Just
Yeah.
giving that
Absolutely, that's
moment
true.
a character.
Yeah.
And we got over it. Come on, off-menu guys, grow up. Get rid of the genie, embrace your true selves, like I did. No, I think it's I don't know. It's a fun little thing, but it'd be weird to bring it back now. We've already missed the chance. And actually, for the rest of this season, I won't be giving any hints ever. But season 18, should we bring back the hint ghost?
We can bring back the hint ghost. I have no problem with him.
I think, it's because we just give people hints less.
Yeah,
I think your
that's true.
design has gotten smoother, and we've understood that you don't need to hint people. That the real hint is the friends you made along. No, the real hint is, well, it's the friends you made along the way. It is start talking to each other. We're not going to give you anything. Hey, why don't you start talking through what you're thinking? That's really the only hint we give anymore. So we don't give hints that much anymore because we figured out that most people know the answers. They just don't want to say it because they've only got half an answer. So as soon as we prompt people to start talking, they solve it. So we haven't needed hints. The ghost is retired. All right.
All right, on to M. Billy, this one's for you, and it's a sincere question.
Sure.
This is, how's your health doing since your diagnosis and treatment began? Do you have any advice for people with a similar diagnosis or worries about getting a symptom checked out? And for me, advice for supporting someone going through a serious health scare.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm doing great. I've got a plethora of additional other problems that aren't the same as my main health problem. For people who, again, aren't up to date, I've got leukemia, but it's a perfectly fine type of leukemia where I've got cancer, but I've got a treatment for it. I don't have to do chemo or radiation or anything. Well, technically, I think by definition I am on chemo, but not the way anyone would picture it. I've got a pill that basically keeps it under control, and I take that every day, and I'm chill. And maybe one day I won't have to take the pill again. Maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah, you're about to hit 1 year. Check
It's
up
hard.
To see how it's going.
The hardest thing, I think, is the moment. There's a really, I think, defining moment with stuff like this, which is when, and it's also, I think, just getting older, right? Which is you're going to the doctor not to find out if something is wrong with you, but to get more understanding of something that is definitely wrong with you. Like when I got my diagnosis, it was, you've got spots in your eyes.
We know something is wrong.
You are
going
sick.
to be diagnosed with something.
Yeah, you're either going to come out of this meeting with high blood pressure medication, diabetes medication, leukemia medication, or HIV medication. You are sick. You're now on a fact-finding mission. There's no chance you're going to go to the doctor and they're going to say, don't worry about it, you're healthy. And that was the first time that it happened to me, that it was like not going to the doctor to find out whether I have a problem, but knowing I have a problem. I think that's a hard moment. I think everyone will, most people, I think, will go through that. I think part of that is just being older. Like if it didn't happen to me now, it would happen to me in a few years just by being someone in their 40s at that point. Like
it'll happen to you.
It'll happen to you. I've got other health stuff coming. The thing that bothers me most is that every now and then I've just got I'm just uncomfortable, whether it's like side effects of my medication or some other health issue going on or some, and just my brain not working very well on a particular day. And I'll just have a day where it's like, I'm not comfortable today, which is not that bad, but it's insidious and it kind of continues on. Or like realize the thing that's hard when you have a health thing, if it's bad, the hard thing is the health thing, right? If it's going to kill you, the hard thing is that you have a health thing that's going to kill you. Like those are much, much worse. When you have something that's chronic or like continuing, but not terrible, you get these weird little moments of waves of like, oh, if I stop taking my pill, I'll die. That's not fun. And it's tough. I think the finding other, like it helps. I think it helped for both of us that there were like people talking about this online. So you can go to places where other people are having similar things and you can be like, oh, I know where I'm at. I know what I'm feeling.
I remember right at the beginning when I think we still weren't sure what the diagnosis was. And we were saying, man, if it's cancer, wouldn't it be weird that, like, how will you have to shift identity because you'd be a cancer guy?
Yeah.
Has it felt like that?
No, my biggest worry? That it's sometimes nice to have an inbuilt excuse for things, and I worry about leaning on it too much. To be like, whatever, I'll just say I got cancer. Usually it's true, right? I don't think I've ever misused it, but it's interesting to be like, there's a weird like, oh, I have a thing that will make society leave me alone for a moment, right? When everyone's like, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. It's kind of almost refreshing to be like, you know what, I'm sick, shut up. Just go away. Everyone be quiet. I'm sick, I'm going to do what I want. That's nice to have. But yeah, it is hard. Yeah, it can change your identity. Or not. I think I'm not too bad in that I don't usually have the kind of identity where I like to define myself into groups and then exist in
Yeah.
that capacity. Like that's kind of against my normal method of
I almost think
being.
there was one of the concerns about how you would people
Yeah.
would group you into that.
Yeah, and I think maybe if you're more prone to being someone who likes to group your identity, which I don't think is a bad thing. I'm not saying that makes you worse, but some people kind of it helps them it helps them understand themselves to view themselves as a collection of defined identities, right? About qualities they have, and some people do that. Some people are more like, I'm this type of person. I'm even people who are like, I'm a nerd or I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't think I've ever really, I don't think about myself in any of those kind of terms. I never really have. So it's not as easy for me to fall into I'm a sick person. But that might be more of a worry for you if that's kind of how you picture yourself. It might be something you have to deal with in a tougher way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have the good advice for people going through real serious health scares because in the end, my health scare was fairly quickly assuaged to health annoyance, which is a lot better.
Yeah. And as for being a person supporting someone going through a health scare, it was very scary in the initial days when we didn't know enough. It was awful. And I think in general, there is something difficult about going through something horrible and a huge emotional mess up like that. But it isn't about you. It can't be about you. And so,
yeah, that's fair.
People, anytime that someone will say, if you know someone whose partner is going through something like that, checking in with them and just saying, like, how are you doing as well? It's nice because you cannot, like, I could not in that time, like, it's trying to hold it together to the extreme. It is, no, this is a time that is 0% about me. So,
but it also is. It does affect you. It does make you feel
it absolutely
a certain way.
did, and yet I had to just shove that down real hard. And if anything serious ever comes up with it, that will, by default, that's going to be what I do again. Like, I will drop everything and make it about you. That's not even faintly into question. But it's not an easy thing to do. So
Yeah,
if you know couples who are going through something like that, it's just a thing to keep in mind for both of them. All right. More fun? More fun?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. A different M. Whenever you all travel internationally, what are the snacks or foods you like to get that you can't really get at home?
Oh, there's not. Honestly, I think weirdly from an Australian perspective, you often get really like, and maybe from everyone's perspective, but you get really homesick for the stuff that you can't find in other places. When you're like 2 weeks of a trip, you're like, I want Vegemite on toast, and I can't get it. But everyone has that. You'll have some food that's hard to get. Danny, what do you think?
I am much more inclined when I go overseas
some type of biscuited
to
chocolate thing
attach myself to one sort of food.
in the UK, and it's usually chocolates. I think
Of
in the
course.
UK you got
My
really
most
into
recent one. We don't have these here, and I don't know why, because it's only one step removed from the products we do have. Crunchy Rocks.
Yeah, little
Just,
like
crunchy, Cadbury crunchy,
Yeah, they're
but in clustery rock form, so it tastes like a chocolate
it's the
crackle.
stuff that's left over after
I
they make chocolate bars,
ate-
and then they sell it, and it's the best.
Yeah, it's if you had chocolate that melted and you went, well, we can't put this into a nice bar shape anymore. I ate so many bags of them. Oh my God, I wanted them all the time.
It was nice when we were in America in like LA to get Mexican food, which is one of the few cuisines that is not very
it's harder to find
in
Mexican
Sydney,
food that is authentic Mexican.
We live in a fairly metropolitan, multicultural city, right?
Yeah.
The idea, like most foods, we can get in good. I mean,
Australianified to an extent.
but made by people from those places making the food. You can get Thai food, you can get Japanese food, you can get nice sushi, you can get good.
Yeah, I keep seeing
easy
things
to get a lot of
online and on
East
TV
Asian
from
and South
places
Asian food
in
and
America.
Southeast Asian food.
I see places on the internet and on TV in parts of America of people saying, I've never tried Indian food before, and that's
why,
madness
right?
to us,
and
based on where we
there
live.
are a lot of Italian people in Australia making good Italian food. There are a lot of Greek people in Australia though fewer of them running Greek restaurants, but there are still, you can get good Greek, and there's a lot of Middle Eastern stuff. There's a lot of Lebanese people in Australia
Yeah,
making
we've got
Lebanese
an
food.
Afghani restaurant not far away. There's a
There's
Nepalese,
a Nepalese
restaurant that we've been to.
So there's a lot, but it's very hard to get good Mexican food in Australia because most people in Central America, if they're going to leave Central America, will often just go to America or maybe Canada because there's kind of, it's close. If you're going to go to Australia, you may as well go to Canada. It's like the cold Australia. So because of that, we don't have like a big
And I also think that
Central American or South American like diaspora in Australia.
The
So a bit
South
more
American
South
is building up.
And so it's nice to get that when you're in America because we don't really have it as much here.
Yeah, and
you're
I,
like,
I want to
"Ooh."
say also that
Like I'd never heard of a mole sauce before going to a Oaxacan restaurant in LA.
Yeah, I want to say we have a hint more Tex-Mex than Mexican.
Yes, though apparently even that's pretty substandard. So that's a nice one.
S'mores was spectacular. We can't
Oh,
really
yeah,
do that
s'mores
right
was
here.
nice. But yeah, in terms of like European stuff, it's nice to get good food in good places. I don't know if I go, oh, I'm going to get this when I go to particular places.
I'm Arafuro biscuits, I want to say, in Japan.
Oh yeah, Aeroforto?
Aeroforto?
I don't know, something.
Alternatively, I think in the UK they had ones that were basically the same, that were like Leibniz biscuits or something. There's nothing special about them. They're chocolate on a biscuit. Love them.
Getting Japanese curry in Japan is nice because you can get it. Hey, here's a weird one that I kind of liked. That right, or, it's not that weird, but it's nice to go to England to a pub and do get like a Sunday roast at a pub because that's to me a weird moment of like that is not anything dissimilar from normal like Australian home cooked food.
Yeah,
I would have roast. A roast with veggies in that exact style. But the idea of being able to get that type of food out was like,
there's something
like the
different about
closest
that.
you get is like pub food, but even that more and more is just like
It's
a
not
pizza
the
and a
same.
parmesan. Like getting that in a restaurant was kind of like,
That's
that's
interesting.
nice to be able to get what is basically a cultural kind of like touchstone memory of a type of meal that I've never seen served by anyone who was not a parent at a dinner table at a house. And I kind of like that feeling.
Funny.
Yeah, I mean, when I go to Japan, same sort of thing. It's nice to get like different like variety and different types of stuff that you don't usually get. Like I got really into last time I was in Japan, having kitsune udon, which is udon with I can never remember the name of the sushi of the tofu. It's
Agadashi?
Agurabe. It's abura age. That's right.
Oh,
Fried.
okay.
It's just deep fried in oil. Abura is
Oh,
oil.
all right.
Age is fried, but like it's like deep fried. It's the stuff that you get on the outside of an inari when you all go to a sushi place. But that in sheets in an udon was so. It's like super simple. It's like the cheapest thing on the menu ever. It was just so easy to eat and nice. And I've never seen that anywhere outside of my trips to Japan. And it's like because presumably it's not that. If you're going to make something, make a better thing. But it was lovely. I really liked that.
Nice.
That's the end of Ask. Didn't we say we'd go quickly?
Yep,
Next question.
Okay, all right, we'll blast through it. Hey, F, these are from F. If you had a body and blood like Jesus has bread and wine, what would they be and why? I know that I am chocolate and molten chocolate. It's just what I am. There's no way around that.
My body would be
Rice?
also bread, sorry. And my blood, don't drink it. I've got leukemia. It doesn't matter what the wine is. It's poison. It's bad for you. It's bad for me. It's going to be worse for you. Don't drink it.
But it's a kebab garlic sauce.
Ooh, that's nice.
All right. How many marshmallows do you think you could eat in one sitting?
Oh, how in one like extended sitting? As many as a... you know what? No, I take that completely back. 7.
Outside of s'more form, where they are melted beyond recognition, I hate marshmallows.
No, don't really like marshmallows that much. No. Marshmallow in a hot chocolate is nice. And the maximum you can have in a hot chocolate is 2, so therefore 2 in one sitting.
All right, and finally, do you think it's possible to boil water so incorrectly that you poison yourself?
When I was in university,
Definitely.
people talked about the fact that it is actually not the best for you to drink ultra pure water.
Of course not. Ultra
Because
pure water is
because it's got
horrible.
nothing in it and it kind of wants to
It will
seep
attach
minerals
to
out
your
of your body,
insides.
and that's not so good.
Yes.
So I suppose you might be able to boil water so incorrectly that you're actually ultra purifying
Yeah,
it.
hyper-distilled.
Hyper distilled.
I was just thinking
So yes.
very easily you boil it in the wrong receptacle. It's quite frankly,
yeah.
how many people are boiling things with faintly plastic coated or Teflon coated things? They're already poisoning themselves just very, very
True.
slowly.
So the answer is yes.
All right. From a different M. Since at this point there are too many questions to reasonably answer, which AMA questions did you choose to cut for time and why?
This one,
Oh,
next.
please. You think you know us.
All right. Now it's just people talking about various things.
Okay.
They're talking about
Question-
Vegemite as blood. I don't like it.
Question from L. What media do the two of you most strongly disagree on?
Individual show,
Steven Universe.
Which I really love and Danny absolutely hates. To the point that
okay.
to the point that when we go back to that question about like issues in our marriage, weirdly the biggest one was I was watching the show and Danny would come home and be like, "This show sucks and you suck." And I'd say, "How dare you?
This is very...
I'm trying to watch this show and you keep telling me I'm a bad person for enjoying it."
Very heavily paraphrased.
That's how I took it, not how it was intended, or even close to how it was said.
Look.
It's a good show.
Cutesy.
The music's nice.
Cutesy dumb kids are not my thing. Honestly, I understand Rebecca Sugar is very talented. I also understand her style is not my thing. I'm sorry.
Other than that, I don't know. What else do we disagree on in terms of media? We mostly enjoy the same media.
We've got to...
Is there any game that we fundamentally disagree on?
Well, it took me like 4 tries to play Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, but you're just like everyone else who doesn't think it's the best game ever. Fools. I don't think there is.
You have definitely played games where it's been the same sort of thing, where you've enjoyed them and I have pointed out flaws in them, and you have taken that as me making a judgment on your personality and intellect.
As it was intended.
Which is not true. I'm just okay with pointing out flaws in things that I love.
Sure. Should never point out a flaw in me, have you? See? No, mostly fine. There's games that we've disagreed with. But overall, no, I think we generally agree on most media.
We can often agree on like the general, I like this versus I don't like this.
I'll tell you what we disagree on sometimes.
Ooh, please.
You're more comfortable not liking a thing that sometimes I would go, I feel like I should watch it again after a certain, to see, like, maybe it's good. Maybe I missed something when I watched it the first time and it's actually good. Like, I still have that feeling with Blade Runner, which I've never enjoyed, even though I should. And like, I love the ideas of the aesthetics, and I just watch it and I go, I don't care, Blade Runner. Why don't you make me care about it?
I had to study Blade Runner at school, and I hated it.
And I think I need to go and watch it again.
And now that I've read the short story, I'm less inclined to like the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we don't so much.
If you listen to this and you want to tell me why Blade Runner is good, don't.
Oh
worry.
no, we've heard that.
Don't say to me like, "Oh, it's actually good." Like, "Oh, I can't believe you don't like it." I can't believe I don't like it either. I'll get there, or I won't. But I don't know. I just feel like I should, and I don't.
Yeah, I want to say like, sometimes there are media that one of us gets into more than the other, and that's okay. We've gotten to.
Why haven't you played X4 Foundations, Danny? You could be,
however,
piloting a ship through. We
do approach our critical analysis of these things differently, just in that I am and I enjoy pointing out flaws in my media, and it doesn't mean that I don't love them, whereas you, if you hear me doing that, take it to mean I didn't like it.
True. I will say that's usually because you also don't like ever listing things you like about stuff. So you'll be like, here's a piece of media, and I will hear you say 8 things about this piece of media, and that's all, only 8 things, and every one of those 8 things is something you hate and think is the worst thing ever. And then someone will say, "What does Danny think about that?" And you're like, "Oh, from what I've heard, hates it." You're like, "What? I love it. It's great." It's like you've only said negative things. You've not said one nice thing about this the entire time we've ever talked about it.
Outrageous. Billy, did I like the new Superman?
Yeah, but it's because you said nice things about it.
Did I say things did I critique things about it? Say things I didn't like?
You had a mix of both.
Possibly first. I think that we came out of the cinema and the first things that I said were the things that I disliked.
Sorry.
And yet,
yeah,
I had a great time.
You said you said. Look, you've gotten better at saying good things, and I've gotten better about saying bad things about media.
Brilliant.
I think I have. I think I'm much more likely to critique. We just had a whole thing about it recently.
Yeah.
I'm much better.
And that was a wonderful conversation. I loved having it.
Everybody, here's the problem. Sometimes you marry someone that you've been dating since you were 15 years old, Occasionally they bring up things that you do, and you do them less and less every year as you stop being 15 years old. But it's still like a memory in the relationship of, didn't you have this opinion? It's like, I was a child. Of course I had a bad opinion. When did I say that? Oh, you were 17 and a half at the time. Yeah, I know I was 17 and a half.
When you're
at the
in a
time.
relationship that started when you were 15, you've also clearly got to go, oh, clearly I got something right when I was 15. So you can't just say, well, of course it was dumb because I was 15.
Next question.
From C. What's the worst pub trivia question you've ever been asked?
I don't have a specific memory, but I do have a type, which is science questions.
Always science questions.
That are, if you have any understanding of the issue, so addendumed and asterisked to be nowhere close to being a true fact. And then they just want a pithy little, like, one-word answer. And you're like, this doesn't have a one-word answer. It does if you make up the answer for fun trivia points. Like, the kind of science facts that are just, like, wrong, but they're on the lid of a Snapple cap. And so, it's like, what is the only part of the body that grows after death? You're like, well, none of them, but you probably want me to say, like, hair or nails or something. And then they'll be like, no, not hair or nails. They don't grow. Like,
trying
I know
to
that's
meta
true.
them like that is awful. It's like getting true or false questions where you go, well, you wouldn't ask me this if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
Even though I really don't believe it. It sounds outrageous.
Yeah. True or false? America isn't technically a country. You're like, well, that's a weird thing to ask. It must be true. And then it isn't, but whatever.
I don't know what you want me to answer with that one.
But yeah, so usually...
Like, I got the question that was
science,
true or false, Dungeons & Dragons is played with a D6.
Yes, and the answer is true.
Yes.
It can be.
Your character might want that, but is that
but
what
there's a
you're
very,
after?
very good chance they're trying to say, no, board games like Monopoly are played with D6s, Dungeons & Dragons is played with a D20.
Yeah.
So, but there's also a D6. For damn it, I don't know what the answer to that would have been, and I have no idea. Because you don't know, because it's like, yes, it is, just not as the primary one for most skill checks. But I don't know if that's what you're asking, you know?
I have written into an escape room, and because I did indeed get the question of what's the tallest mountain, and I just went, can you define tallest? And I got laughed at for asking that.
Yeah, but there's like 3 different tallest mountains.
Really?
There's like tallest from base to tip, but it's underwater.
Recently
There's
got asked
furthest
about
from the
biggest,
center of the earth.
Just recently got asked about largest deserts, and I panicked.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, have you researched that? Don't just look at list of biggest deserts. Actually go into how they define those, because it is a mess.
Yeah.
They just define Australia as one of them.
Here's the problem.
The Australian desert
which is not. There's
one
multiple
desert.
deserts.
Are you kidding?
There's so many deserts.
Oh.
Here's the problem. Often real life doesn't hold up to the pithy answers that people want in trivia. And so the more you know, the more worst pub trivia questions you find. And it's tough. It's tough sometimes.
Yeah. Question from S. What's the longest someone's taken to do an escape room on the pod? Well, that's easy. That's us when we did Tommy's room.
Oh, yes.
Because it was a big room.
Yeah, the longest we've ever taken was us and the Yules playing Roland's Game by Tommy Honton.
Because it was a massive,
I think that was like
immersive
a 4.5 hour recording or something.
And yep, quite frankly, nothing about this is just, oh, you were so bad at it. It's just, it was really long. And
we have had some of your rooms that, due to
I spiraled
certain things,
in their length.
But there are ones that, were probably other people might have done in shorter time. But we had some that have gone close to 3 hours.
Yeah, and I've absolutely had to realize that was a problem that I needed
so
to scale down, because we couldn't keep asking people on to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's an odd question in a certain way, because like we don't ever run the same room twice, other than the video special, which you can watch right now. But so it's hard to compare, because usually it's like we don't know how long someone else would have taken to do a particular room. Maybe super quick. Sometimes it's about something just not clicking and people not wanting hints at all. Sometimes there's groups that are really small, like. If people try and play in a group of 2 compared to a group of 3, they would usually be slower than they would as 3 or 4. Most people play as groups of 2. We've had some people play as group as a single player one. That took a lot longer than we would have expected.
That's obviously
because
harder.
they lost all capacity to bounce their ideas off each
As
other.
a follow-up, we've also got the question from A. Likewise, what's the shortest time that someone's taken to do an escape room? Oh, feel free to use my full display name, Albert. What's the shortest time that someone's taken? Probably us as well, in guest rooms that happen to be shorter.
Yeah, I want to say that off the top of my head, the shortest actual escape rooming time is probably just over half an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say like 40, 45 minutes. So that's.
I want to say like 35
Wow.
minutes maybe, with like a 10-minute intro and a little bit of outro, and to kind of, and like cutting almost nothing and getting like a 50-minute episode.
And again,
I want to say that's happened.
Like, I wish that I were capable of doing that more often.
Mm.
Like it's really good, succinct design in certain ways.
I mean, the escape room that I ran for our million episode special, a million download
million
special,
episode special,
a million download special, you finished that one in like 5 minutes.
That's true.
Okay. Next question is from F. If you had a completely unlimited budget and infinite space to do it in, and also someone else would do all the puzzle designing and construction, you don't have to do any work, what would your ideal physical escape room look like? I like the idea of a particular type of space that is easily divisible, but is in itself like contained. So like one giant cruise ship, one long train, one haunted house.
Are you suggesting with individual like train carriages being their own thing, or
not
you
necessarily?
Can move between?
But possible ones you move between them, right? We're talking kind of just like a vague pie in the sky concept. I just like a thing that has its own identity that doesn't vary too much, but within it you can find nooks and crannies and variation. I think that's a really fun presentation and idea. It's like we understand where we are. It's thematically and physically all kind of connected in the same. Let's explore and find puzzles and find this big, wild room, like storyline in space.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, a spaceship, those sorts of things. Like I really like that as a way to present something.
I'm torn. My first instinct is to say it just looks like a theme park and is a theme park.
Sure.
And there are puzzles scattered throughout the theme park while you are doing fun theme park. Alternatively, I also just want to say like a big empty hotel, because just being able, there's something fun about the idea of
big old empty hotels
of sneaking around a hotel that feels like childlike enjoyment.
Yes, 100%. I think you're right. I think that'd be it. Big hotel. Because there's also like rooms, but then you get to the big lobby and you get to the like other, like a big fancy room near the top. You get to the.
It's like, what's the game that I keep forgetting the name of? The scary horror game with Jimmy in it.
Oh yeah, no, the ones that people from Contradiction made.
Yes, and like a non-scary version of that.
Yeah.
Some people might like the scary, and they'll go for the scary version of that.
Next question.
Ooh, from S. Now that you've talked about Stormlight Archives, what are your thoughts on Mistborn?
Brandon Sanderson's biggest skill is his capacity to plot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's good at.
He has endings in mind.
He knows how things end.
I respect that a lot.
He also generally makes individual decisions based on the character making them, and then uses that to create the plot, rather than, it never quite feels like people make out of character decisions to help plot points move, which sometimes happens when someone's really intent on plotting things ahead, or that character decisions don't advance the plot. He's I think more so than most people writing today and most people who have written fantasy, the thing that sets him aside as someone who's a talented writer is in the capacity to build out that plot and make it come forward and give it the twists that are real, twists that are earned. Because he does that, stuff that he does very well in Mistborn is knowing the entire time where it goes and how it ends. There's a lot of value to look back at the things that happened and went, oh my God, this all makes sense now. And he's very good at the, oh my God, this all makes sense now.
When it comes from a writing perspective, you can tell that this was earlier in his life as a writer than Stormlight was. There are a couple of things when I read through the first Mistborn and I go, as an editor, I would have changed that line. Or, oh, you've used that word twice in 2 pages and I think it sticks out a bit and stuff like that.
There's classic Sanderson examples of like, I don't know, like if you get the same implication everybody else does when you keep saying that everyone's beefy. But so there's some, I think there's a little bit of like, I didn't like the first, like, or rather, I didn't like reading the first chapter of Mistborn. But I liked where it went in the context of plot and story, but I didn't enjoy reading it in terms of it being like, is this well written? I was like, it feels like he's just kind of.
We've come from his more experienced stage into this because we started with Stormlight.
Yeah.
So it did feel a little bit different in that way. But I feel I feel like I'm in safe hands when I
Yes,
read
there's a
his
lot of
work.
trust.
I feel like I'm going to be satisfied
Yeah,
at the end,
you
and I was
know
very
that-
satisfied by the end of the first arc of
things
Mistborn.
will resolve, things will make sense, and things will feel earned
And
in
the
the
other
context.
thing that is specific to Sanderson that most other writers don't do is that you can feel safe in the relationships in the books. When there is a core
Yeah.
relationship, it will succeed.
Yes,
And
which
they
is
will
always
stay
nice.
together. And some people like the relationship drama in a fiction. I really like the security of knowing that when this couple's in love, they're going to stay in love.
Yeah, which is quite nice. The twists of Mistborn are fantastic. The world is fun and interesting. I like it. Some people are not big on the fact that he does very like rules heavy kind of magic systems. It feels like, you know how every single person who writes manga really wanted to be a game designer? Brandon Sanderson sometimes has that feeling as well. He likes designing systems and games, but in the world of magic, I think I can enjoy that.
I think I got a little bit more. I would haze over some of the action scenes in Mistborn more than in Stormlight because they were like a bit more movie-esque fight scenes or action-y scenes that were going on. So I didn't care about them quite as much. I want to say particularly in the second series when guns are introduced.
Fair. I think the one thing that Mistborn as well, like first thing in Mistborn, because he has not yet expanded his universe too much, there's a self-contained easy reading. The thing that he is currently in the middle of as an author is becoming Western comics, right? Where it's a lot of, have you read that book to understand this book? This character is actually from this one. This is here,
not to be the
and the world is
biggest fan
growing.
of it.
I think there's something like it is something that is clearly something he loves and a lot of people love. And if you love that idea, if you're someone who likes these extended connected universes, he's doing it better than anybody else.
It just doesn't work for me necessarily.
It'll be interesting, though, to
me.
see how all of the stuff he's currently doing will resolve. Because when it comes to individual books, you can really trust him on that plot coming together and being satisfying across the whole thing. It's interesting we're in that stage for something new of the connected cosmere that is being written now. It feels like it's all coming, like he knows how it all connects and it's all coming together.
Yeah.
So
just to keep in mind for everyone listening, Bill has not read Wind and Truth yet.
No. I'm on my way. I'm just doing a very, very, very slow reread.
We could talk about this for a while, but maybe we should move on.
So that's where we're at. But it's good. Give it a read. But yeah, there's also, sometimes you want something that's different in writing. So do what I do.
That said, you know what? I will finish off by saying there are people on the internet, particularly like in fantasy writing, things like that, who will say, oh yeah, Brandon Sanderson, he doesn't write very good prose.
He doesn't write operatic prose.
But I also think that they are just straight up wrong a lot of the time. Like I said at the start of Mistborn, there are some things that I would have changed and would have edited. But no, I think that they just have a very rigid idea of what good prose is. Yeah. And they are not paying attention to what makes his prose good.
Yes, 100%. It's like the difference between reading a lot of old classics and then like reading like Steinbeck and going, oh, this is like short, to the point, easy, relatable sentences. People I think who complain too much about Brandon Sanderson's prose are the kind of people who get annoyed when the German-speaking people in a movie don't have a British accent or don't have a high-class British accent. And you're like, they don't need to. The kind of people who'd see like, oh, let's have this German character, and ask, why doesn't he have a German accent? He's speaking German, not English with a German accent. Or, why does he sound like a guy from New York? That must be funny. It's like, well, it's no different than him sounding like someone with RP. That's just as incongruous. That kind of stuff. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
All right, next one for from S. How much time do you spend working on each of your podcasts and other outside of the pod jobs? Okay, so now
I don't really have an outside of the pod job.
No, now that we're not doing Golden Idol anymore.
Golden Idol took up a lot of time.
That was several tens of hours a month.
Yeah. It was probably, it was
dozens.
I have a list I could go through all my hours, but I'm not going to tell you what they were. But yeah, so that took up a long time. There was like a part-time job, and then the podcast became a part-time job. for me now, podcast stuff is pretty much the full-time job with a little bit of other stuff here and there. Not really. You do a little bit more. You have a separate part-time job.
I have 10 tutoring students as of right now, and so there's the hours that I spend tutoring them, but also some of them are very advanced and I need to actually go back and learn all of the work, and so I'm just straight up like doing high school advanced math, so I have to spend a good chunk of hours doing that as well.
But yeah, podcast-wise,
so, that's like another 15 to 20 hours a week.
Well, I will say, I am very much not, and neither are you, the sort of person. Some people, when they have a job like ours, where it's sort of self-employed, making something, they will give themselves like office hours and say, I'm going to work from blank to blank every day and get work done in that time.
And that's just the way that they function best.
You know, a lot of writers will be like, often they don't go, I work 8. Most of the people also don't do 8 hours because that's not a normal action. That's not actually, hey, fun fact, that's not actually a normal human way to live, but whatever. They'll be like, I've got a 5-hour or 4-hour job or whatever, but they'll give themselves hours.
So when you consider people like nurses who say that they have an 8-hour shift, they're probably actually doing more 8 hours than regular 8-hour shift people.
Oh, hugely. But what I will say is I don't work that way. The thing that is nice about the way the podcast is structured is that it's very deliverables based, as in there is an episode, it must be out by this time, and then it is done, and it's a project that is finished. And because of that, I kind of work basically episode by episode, project by project, until it's done. It means that depending on how my days work, I will sometimes have an individual day where I'll work like 15 hours in a day, just doing nothing but working all day. And then other days where it's like, oh, I'm kind of empty on, like low on projects right now. I could do some work trying to add something in or do an app, or maybe I'll just take this time to chill for a little bit and then wait. So it's very variable. But that's because it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like a lifestyle. This is just a thing that I do with my life. I make these things. I make episodes of this show. I make media. I make things. So I make them rather than being like, here are my work hours, here are my non-working hours. It's just what I do with my time.
Yeah, some self-employed people end up just with it there 24 hours a day, and you're not necessarily even actively typing things and saving documents and things for those hours, but it's always there in a way.
But but not in a band, not in an
I used to complain
way.
about my parents doing that. My parents who owned their own business and how they never switched off.
But but it just seems sometimes, when I need a day off, I take a day off. When I need time to when I need to focus in, I'll focus in. It's hard to say in terms of hours.
All right, we'll keep going. From V, what difficulties did you guys discover trying to translate your ideas from pen and paper space into a video game with Golden Idol? Did you have to learn software, coding, or was it mostly just scenario design? How'd you even end up working on it in the first place?
Okay, series of questions.
Ooh, okay, so how we ended up working on it in the first place, that's a bit easier.
We'll go backwards. How we started working on the first place was thanks to friend of the show and friend of ours in real life and cool person, Lee DeGeorge.
He noticed that the Golden Idol people, after the first game, had said, hey, we're making a sequel. We want to expand our team.
And so at that point, we had still not played the original Golden Idol. We had been recommended it by every person we knew, but we hadn't played it yet. So we saw that. So he said, I think you'd be good for this. And so showed us the job offer. So we played the original game and went, oh, I need this job. This was so cool.
It could not have, it felt it clicked and just ticked all of our boxes. And we would tick the boxes for it, hopefully.
And then in terms of getting it, we just applied. We said, here's what helped. The thing that, not what helped, what really got us the job, I think, is that we could say, here we are, we want to work on this. Here is an entire library of self-contained hour-long puzzle games that we have created. And given that they very much build around individual scenarios that take half an hour to an hour and a half, the idea that we could make content that matches that kind of size, I think, was alluring. Then we could also say, here's a whole bunch of playable murder mysteries we have already made. And I think this is an important part, because they didn't have a huge budget for getting people on. So they couldn't really pay super experienced game devs because they're a very small studio. They're in Latvia. There's a whole bunch, they didn't have a giant budget. So it was also easy for us to say, we've never worked on a video game before. So we're not going to expect a senior coder kind of wage. And it would be an extra thing on top of what we already do. We wouldn't be relying on it to to feed multiple households and children. So I think that was also easy to be like,
That's fair.
we will work for this, for the kind of like
Yeah.
situation that it is.
As for things like learning software coding, the coding was already all in place. Didn't have to learn that, but you
But I definitely
certainly learned how
software.
the
I had to
all the
learn how to
software
work
worked.
in Godot, how to set up all
I'm
the nodes
afraid
and all
to
that other
work
stuff.
on new software, especially in something as important as someone else's video game project, because I am certain I will delete
I had
everything.
to learn how GitHub worked. I had to get all that. So I had to learn quite a lot of software. No coding, but yes, definitely software. How to integrate it with that, mostly through Godot. Also had to learn how to draw faster and better and more quickly, because a lot of playtest art I was done by me for the scenes that we were developing. In terms of translating it, I think a lot of the design principles were similar. You have to learn some specific Golden Idol design principles.
Yes, definitely.
Physical,
true.
like visual layout is something we had to get a little bit better at. But even then, I think Escape This Podcast gave us a lot of experience in layout being relevant. About like not putting everything in one space or pulling it out and where to put information. Golden Idols specifically, we had to learn a lot of, like, the thing I got very used to doing a lot of the scenario design was like, here are all the facts that I need. Though this was very much something from Solve This Murder, right? Here are the facts. Where do those facts come from? And I kind of designed that in a similar way to when I did Solve This Murder, of like, I know what happens, and then, this fact you'd learn from this person, this fact you learn from this person. Instead, it became, there'll be this fact in this object, this fact in this conversation, this fact in this
The interesting point that you mentioned, everything that we do, because it's an audio medium, is about the words. And when you're doing a video game like Golden Idol, so much more of it comes from the visuals, and some people are better at that translation than others. And it was a very good challenge trying to see what can you get across in objects and where they are placed, as opposed to like all of the letters that you're finding around the place, which are there as well, but just trying to not make it completely just entirely language based. I know that when I've playtested some of the other people who worked on the game scenarios, there are just some visual clues I never looked at because I am bad at certain levels of observation.
I tell you what I think helped me design wise. I've always been quite good at being able to quickly visualize an image in my head in a lot of detail, so I could picture how things would look.
Hyperphantasia.
Yeah, I'm quite good at it. Not that it's a skill, but so I think it helped because I could, even before finishing designing a scene, I could just be like, oh, I know exactly what this looks like, and I know kind of how it all is and where things are. So now I can start trying to write those down and draw them out and make notes of it. But like instantly, I can sort of get a whole picture of the thing. I've talked about before in terms of like tabletop role playing stuff. Is that the way I often do it when I'm describing something? Is I don't feel like I need to, and this is different for other people. Many of you listening may be similar to me. If I'm describing a place, for example, when we're playing gateways and things like that, I don't need to improvise my description. I don't feel like I'm doing improv when I describe it, because I can really quickly, very like instantaneously picture the thing, and then in that picture in my mind, I can then slowly describe it to you, and none of it. I don't have to make it up as I go because I can see it in front of me, and so then I can just be like,
I can do that
this is easy, I'm
too.
describing.
Except coming up with things that are interesting or helpful in any way, and not just completely mundane, is where I struggle.
But yeah, so I think that helps with like designing a scene. But the biggest thing we had to learn was better playtesting. Because we don't.
The nature of going from as hands-on as our process to nope, we just have to put this product out there and silently.
Yes, more than anything else,
go.
it wasn't about going pen and paper to video game in terms of like technology. It was about distance from the creator. Yeah. Every other game that we run and play, we are always there to be part of it, and not being part of it other than in the design. That's the biggest. That was by far the biggest jump. And often the process we had for designing was make a scenario and then fill in this gap, make this more obvious, make this more obvious, make this more obvious, make this more obvious. And now people are seeing it in way like in ways that are not as guided when they're not being guided.
Which is funny because that's not how I create things at all. I create everything full, thorough. Now that is a first draft. And my first draft, it's not going to change much between that and the final draft because I thought of it all
That
already.
kind of iterative thing was harder for us. That was our biggest thing to get into. And also working with other people.
Which, that's my problem.
From a creative perspective, that was the first time we had like a creative boss. Someone who was, in the end, the shot caller for what goes in and what doesn't, because it's their project. I will say the Carpenters are not hard to work with in that way. Like I never really felt like they unjustly completely shot down an idea. They would never be like, no, don't do that. Like,
no, certainly not.
Everything
was reasonable.
They were very good at taking on. They were they liked that critique.
Remember how I said that I felt like I'd gotten into a place with our playtests where I don't get offended or like too defensive about your critique, but when it's coming from other people, you feel it a lot more.
And I will say, absolutely lovely, the Carpenters who made it, wonderful people. They are still like, Latvian European people. I think like sometimes it's like the same with like sometimes you talk about this with like Dutch people. Dutch people are very direct. And I think there's like a slight cultural shift in the sort of stuff that I went like, I feel like in Australia, that would have been couched slightly differently, but I'm fine with it. I understand
different cultures cushion things in different ways.
But it was funny to occasionally have, in a very, very friendly way, something put out there and them just being like, yeah, but they wouldn't do that because that's stupid. And I'm like, oh, no. But they're very nice about it. But,
and they would do it to their own ideas.
Yeah, that was what made the difference. It was like, then you would hear them talk to each other and be like, oh, they wouldn't do that. That's a really dumb idea. Or they'd be like, I was going to do this, but my idea is really stupid and dumb. So, like, it wasn't like a thing they would do to people. It was just a slight difference in the way they approached wording. Then for a second was like, oh, I gotta snap into this mode.
Yeah, but that had very little to do with a creative process or a boss process. No. That's just a standard working with different people.
Collaboration when we're used to the idea of being able to be like, we've had an idea, we've put our version together. That's the final step. Now it's done. And the idea of then someone else being like, well, here's my input on that and let me change it. Like, what are you talking about? We've done it now and it's done. We had to get used to that.
All right, let's keep going. From A, have you ever been to Woollahra Library? Because it's in Sydney. And if so, thoughts? I wish.
You asked about this on the Discord.
I did because I was so curious what was special about Woollahra.
And apparently it's just a good library.
Apparently it's just the best library
We've never been to Woollahra Library. Maybe we should. I used to occasionally, because we work from home, and I do, when I'm writing and doing design stuff like for Solve This Murder, or if used to be sometimes when I was editing, I would take when I was editing on a laptop, I would sometimes just be like, today I need to go to a library so that I'm not at home.
As far as I know, Woollahra is south side somewhere, and we're very far north side, so that's not going to happen for us.
Well, maybe I'll go down one day and I'll check it out. I like working in a library and I like being on public transport.
That's true. Question from S. How hard is it to create your podcast episodes, as I want to get into creating audio escape rooms?
Danny, you've been doing it for a long time, making the actual escape rooms.
Yeah.
Would you say it's hard?
No. I would say that you're going to find the different steps hard, and I would say coming up with like a fun setting, everyone's going to find that fine. Maybe even fitting what your story is going to be and what puzzles are going to be in that setting. I would say if creating audio escape rooms is something you're excited about, those are probably the steps that are going to fit in very nicely. The hard part is going to be writing your notes out in a way that work for players.
I think something that you are very good at is in my ability to picture a place very quickly and then describe that place without needing to feel like I'm improvising too much. I think you are a bit like that with characters. I think you are very good at being able to just have a character and go, I know who this is. And I think that's why, like, it's easy for you to put a story together fairly quickly in terms of like those characters existing and what they would do. But also, I think it's why you often say, oh, I hate doing improv. And then in Solve This Murder, you'll be able to play a character and give them like really specific mannerisms and existence that makes me able to interact with them and tell things about them and get a really clear picture of them, and maybe not feel like you're doing that much improv because you're reading normal facts, but you're very good at being like, here's how this character would exist and present in this space. I think you're very, very good at that quickly, of having a fully formed understanding of a person.
And I think that me saying that I hate improv when it comes to that fits back to exactly what I just said a second ago, where I can get a picture of a room quickly in my head, but it's probably just going to be practical and uninteresting. It's just pragmatically, it's what has to be there. Same comes when I'm creating a character. I can't do what would be a fun experience if I was being a character in this moment. What would give us a fun time?
Because, like, no, I know who
I
they
have to
are.
do what's there.
That's adding. It's like, no, this character already exists. I
Yeah.
picture them in my head. I think that's probably very true. Yeah, some people will have trouble in
I would
audio
say
escape
just
rooms.
the hardest thing is always going to be finishing one.
Yes.
So even if you come up with a mini one with one puzzle in it, do that. Once you have a finished product, everything will get easier from there.
And it's harder and harder, especially if you're watching stuff that we make and trying to emulate it, will naturally be harder than making the thing that feels more natural for you to make, if you know what I mean, right? Like, Danny made these because they worked well for how you design. So anytime you're trying to emulate that, it will be harder for you because you're trying to do it according to someone else's way. That there's something like trying to do what someone else would come up with naturally, slightly unnaturally trying to do it. So it may well be that you'll have slightly more trouble trying to create something that has the same feeling. And it might be that the thing that you want to make has a slightly different feeling and double down on it. Be like, yes, okay, I'm going to chase what feels good to me. And that will then be easier and more authentic.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Also, editing is hard. If you're just in the rooms, that's fine. Actually, editing's pretty easy, but that's a whole separate thing. That's
All right,
probably not relevant.
From C. How often, if ever, do you find yourself giving up on a puzzle or room or mystery design concept? Any ideas or settings that you've come back to multiple times but haven't found a way to use yet? I can answer this quickly
Please.
for Escape This Podcast, and I'm sure you can do this for Solve This Murder a little bit more, because I know that you've scrapped bits and pieces from that. There are a couple of times, not often, but I do have a couple of pages in my notebook where I started writing the escape rooms, got as far as drawing a picture, maybe saying what objects were in there, and something wasn't clicking. If I really forced myself to, I'm sure I could make those things work. The biggest example that I got quite far in and just couldn't, and then just sort of cracked by the end, was a time travel based one. It just felt like I was trying to make it cooler than I was capable of making. And that I was introducing too many variables that I wasn't going to be able to account for.
Fair. Yeah, I've scrapped a couple of... I've scrapped ideas before, right? Sometimes I'll have a flash of an idea and think this is going to work, and then just be like, hey, it doesn't work. I did it for Golden Idol. There was a scene that
definitely.
got fairly
We did
far
that a
into
couple of
development.
times.
Even got the go-ahead of like, yes, you can start making that. And then I spent like a couple of weeks on it, and then I just sort of got to the next meeting and said, I'm not going to do this. I've been looking at it. I've been trying it. It doesn't work. And I can't make it work in a natural and interesting way. There's puzzles there. We all sort of understand the concept. We've all agreed on the concept. But when you try it, it just does not make sense
Something's
for me.
flat here.
Once
Something's not working.
that has then been picked up by someone else who thought that they could make it work and then proceeded to in a version that is fairly different from what I had. But, there's ones where I've been like, sometimes it's been passed on to other people in that context where they went, no, it will work. And then basically worked on it for a while and went, hey, we've come to the conclusion this doesn't work for the exact same reasons you did. And I was like, yeah, I know, right? We've got to come up with something else together. So that has happened as well in that context. For Solve This Murder, I've had one entire concept that I have completely thrown out after trying to work on it for quite a while. It was whatever I came up with before Actors Assassination. What was the last one I ran?
Virtual Victim?
Was Virtual Victim the last one I ran? No, Actors Assassination was the last one I ran. I
No,
think.
what?
I think
No.
was it in flight then virtual?
No. The last one that you ran was Culty Cult.
Oh yes, okay. So it would be before Furtive Fiend.
That's the one.
Furtive Fiend I put together in like 3 days or 2 days for 90%, for 80% of it, right? And that was after being stuck on another idea for so long that I just could not make work in any kind of satisfying way and completely threw out. I don't know if I'll ever go back to it, but just in case, I won't say what it is.
Great.
The one I'm currently writing is taking a bit longer because, again, I was about halfway through it and I went, this doesn't work. It's not interesting. It's too similar to something else.
Yeah, does it tend to be something like, I can't make emotive work, or these characters are boring?
The first of these two, the one that I threw out and then went to Furtive Fiend, was because I couldn't make a motive work. And it just didn't feel right. And a little bit because of that, the characters are boring. For the other one, it was, this is the exact same structure as Actors Assassination, just slightly different. So it's going to feel too samey. And I realized that, but I went, there's a core element to that I've kept that doesn't feel anything like that I've gone back to double down on the core element and ignore the rest of the stuff. But I scrapped a bunch of that. So it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You just got to know when to scrap it, I guess.
Yeah, keep going. From L, do you think it would ever be fun to host a non-competitive game jam? That sounds like the sort of thing that you would be into.
True. I've never really participated in a game jam, and so I don't understand them.
Time limits are stressful.
I just don't understand them. People talk about like, oh, it's a game jam, this game came out of it. They often lead to really, really interesting stuff. I really like innovative and interesting game concepts. So I think I really love what comes out of a game jam. I just don't get them. You see them in the world of video games so much, and because I'm not actually a video game developer, I just don't get it. But we always talk about this. We really like people finishing stuff. So the idea of game jams or like NaNoWriMo and stuff like that, to be like, do a lot of work and get a thing finished. Do it. Do the thing and finish the thing. I think is really helpful.
Except that I don't care about do a lot of something and finish it, which is why things like NaNoWriMo tend to not have anyone finish anything.
They go for so long. But game jams have been like, it's a weekend, see what you can make. I think it's really cool. So even when it comes to like escape roomy style things or little puzzle games, I think that'd be great fun. We kind of have that. Well, we almost have that coming up weirdly with people writing rooms for us in a new way. But we've always encouraged people to write rooms themselves, so that's always fun.
Absolutely.
I definitely would.
Maybe we should do this for some sort of holiday celebration thing, and it's essentially just, okay, Discord, we are going to spend 8 hours sitting on the Discord creating. Join us if you want to be in the group creating.
I wonder there's also some fun to do like Enigmarch is a bit like this in terms of getting everyone making puzzles. But yeah, maybe we should do something of like, this is a weekend, everyone's going to make some kind of thing, and we're going to present it as a little like pen and paper puzzle game.
Present it? That's so much scarier.
We're going to there's a place where we can compile these and show them off as like a pen and paper puzzle game jam. I think that'd be great fun. It'd be lovely. I don't know anything about it. If anyone wants to do it instead and just tell me about it, that's fun too.
All right, we're getting there. From D, what's our favorite part of PAX?
Danny, I don't understand PAX.
Why don't you understand
It's like a game
PAX?
jam. I don't get them. I don't get conventions. We've been to a couple. I don't get
you
them.
haven't been to conventions as much as I have. You still don't get them? Even after the ones that we've been
I just don't get
to?
them.
Even after UK Games Expo?
Even after UK Games Expo, I still don't really get it. Not saying I don't enjoy it. I did. I really love going to UK Games Expo, but I don't get it. There's something missing in my understanding of what's going on all the time, and I don't quite get it.
Okay, so it's like immersive theatre.
I don't get it. I love it, but I don't get it. PAX, okay, it's a convention. We just went to Blood on the Clock Tower Con in Australia. We just went to UK Games Expo. I had a great time both times. I don't get it.
Have a lot of money and be willing to meet a lot of people.
The networking is great. I like meeting people. It's fun. It's a good way to meet interesting people. I like when there's shows attached. I like when there's stuff. I just don't get it. And I've never been to PAX. Have you been to PAX?
I don't think I have been to PAX. No, I've been to Supernova plenty of times. I don't think I've actually been to PAX. We got invited to PAX once.
Yeah, we were away and I think we could, but we were invited to be part of a panel, I think.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
It would have been fun. But you know what I would have done? I would have gone to PAX and I wouldn't have got it.
You're crazy.
Like when you go, what do you do at PAX? Like I've been to conventions and I've done stuff at them, but what do you do? What do you do when you go to a convention?
I think I do agree that you can get more fun out of it when you are being part of a group panel sorts of things. If you get a chance, great fun.
Yeah, and I think it's nice. I think it's like especially nice being a creator of stuff at a convention. Like when we go to an escape room convention, we are people who make a thing that people know. We meet other creators and things. If we're going to if
you have the money for it, it's a great place to feel like you are supporting indie people.
You
can feel good about yourself when you do that.
Yeah, talking about knowing people at the UK Games Expo who were showing things and being able to chat with them, meeting new people and play there. I got that from a we're all creatives meeting and creating, but I don't get a fan convention as well. I don't get the idea of I like video games, so I'll go to the video game. I don't.
Well, yeah, you're not very interested in merchandise or hearing from celebrities.
I suppose that's true. I don't mind meeting the celebrities on an equal footing. I suppose if we went to a video game convention, we're more likely to meet people and be like, "Oh, hey, we're Golden Idol writers," and they'll be like, "Wow, you're making something. I also made this puzzle game." We can talk about the puzzle game they made and the puzzle game we made and all that other stuff. I don't get it. All right. Next question.
For you, from T. Thoughts on Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within?
Didn't see it. It came out.
Oh, it's a movie?
It's a movie. Final Fantasy Spirits Within. That was the Final Fantasy movie, and it was a fun. What people found weird at the time, but I really like, is it was just like, no, it's its own thing. It's not related. Like every Final Fantasy is standalone, so is the movie. What did it come out in like early 2000s?
You're asking
Spirits
that with a
Within?
question mark. I didn't know it was a movie.
I think that's what it is. Never saw it. Even though I really liked Final Fantasy at the time, just sort of didn't. It went past me, and I don't think it's really stayed in the cultural zeitgeist because Danny never even heard of it.
I'm sorry. Oh, I saw Advent Children. I don't remember it, but I saw it.
Advent Children was fun.
Okay, and the final question on the Discord, I think we have like 2 more emails to go back to after this, but this is the last
right.
one on the Discord. Bill, what's your favorite voice you've done for a character throughout all of ETP?
Oh. Have I done the Boots character that I did for Level 1 Geek on Escape This Podcast?
What?
The one who's like, oh, hello. Oh, no, I don't even know what's going on. Oh, I'm having a good time over here, but, it's very fun. But, hey, what's going on over there? Oh, someone's stealing something from me. Oh, you got to give it back.
The
I'm just a
Kiwi
little man named
Muppet.
Boots.
Gotcha.
But that's a great voice. Farmer McClegg is a voice that, but I don't remember what it is, really.
I know people talk about the bow-legged guide from our bonus episodes.
That's even okay. That is true. And that's not in ETP. If you are a Patreon donor, you haven't listened yet, you should. For our $5 donors, get all the bonus audio, including us reading through all of the and trying to solve and playing the 2-minute mystery series. And the 2-minute mystery series has a lot of fun characters, but one of them is the bow-legged guide. Sometimes he's not called a bow-legged guide, but it's always the bow-legged guide. He is a man who lives out in the Wild West, and he tells you about Wild West history. And he pops up in a lot of mysteries where something happened at the time, like this happened 80 years ago or this happened 60 years ago in the Wild West.
It happened in the 80s.
It happened in the
they'll
80s,
say.
but I mean the 1880s, because it was written in the 60s. That sort of stuff. And there's a character, and he comes in and he says, well, it's me, the bow-legged guide. How you going? I'm having lots of fun out here on the wild ranges. You want to know what's going on with that pig over there? Well, he's my supper, he is. That guy.
Yeah.
That's the most fun to do. But that's not in ETP.
No, and annoyingly, my favourite one to do, I could
Cyril
make it...
Macon? No, not Cyril Macon.
No, Bertie Tilford.
Bertie Tilford.
Oh, Daddy!
Hello, I'm Snow. I have £10,000, but I want £11,000. Our best voices are in the 2-minute mysteries. I apologise for that. ETP.
I'm sure they've shown up in ETP at some point,
Tell
just as different characters.
another great voice that happens a few times in ETP.
Huh?
A bit of the old like, hey, how you going? I'm a guy.
Oh, definitely.
That pops up. That's always a fun
He's
voice
good
to
fun.
do. That's a good voice to do.
Yeah.
Everyone likes like, hey. I'm doing that currently in a game I'm running.
Oh, yeah?
There's a person in a game of Lancer that I'm running for a few people. That's near the end. I've been running it for a while now.
Congratulations.
And that's got a character who has that voice. It's also got a California surfer guy. That's a fun voice to do.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
There's a lot of fun ones. And that's it. That's for our Discord, AMA.
Yep, so now we just got to hurry back to the emails, get the last couple.
All right, we're almost done with the whole thing, everybody. It only took us 5 weeks. But remember, go listen to the video special. This is not all you get this week. There is an entire new, basically, episode of Escape This Podcast. It's just on YouTube instead of on your podcast player. So go and check it out because it's fun and different and weird and cool. All right, our dog is also screaming at us. I don't know if you heard him in the background, but he is around. Danny, do you know where these are?
Assume that we'd cut this part.
All right, let me find the question and I'll be right back. Okay, this one is from Kay. Actually, it's from Kat.
Oh, okay.
If you could have any real person from history
Oh, no, okay.
who is no longer living
Okay.
on the show,
Mhm.
who would it be?
Mm.
Who would you get on the show? Who'd be good? Who'd be good on the show? Because that's it. You get someone who'd be good for the show on the show. What person from history would be good?
I feel like...
I know who I'd
Ooh. Is there any chance we're thinking of the same person?
get. Yeah, probably.
Okay. Well, let's just narrow it down a little bit to in what century did they die?
Oh. 20th?
Oh,
19?
interesting. Oh,
Am I going
okay.
crazy?
Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
Let me double check.
That's not the person that I'm thinking of
Let
then.
me double check.
If you were hovering between 20th and 21st, I might have understood, but no, mine is distinctly not
Oh,
that.
no wonder I'm hovering. 1900.
Oh, wow, okay. Queen Victoria? No, that's 1901. William No, that's
It's just my
1901.
first random little thought. As someone
Okay.
who might enjoy
All right, well,
my-
we've clearly gone in different
I
directions.
thought Oscar Wilde could be good.
I'd be terrified. He's so catty.
Yeah. No, okay, tell you who you'd get. Tell you
Uh-huh.
who'd get. One who'd be really catty and one who'd balance it out with
Oh,
some
yeah?
sincerity.
Yeah.
You get
And yet I'm not afraid of Mark Twain.
You get Mark Twain would be great. You get Lord Byron, but you also get Mary Shelley. And we can bring
I could work with Shelley.
This is in the period of history where they're all dead, but this is when they're alive. But Percy Shelley died already,
Oh, okay.
so he can't come on. It's real sad. We don't mention
man.
Percy. Percy and Mary would be a good pair.
Mine is a little bit more modern than that. So killing a person from history is a bit depressing
Sure.
because they only died 12 years ago, I want to say.
Ooh, fun. Who?
Robin Williams.
Oh, I wouldn't want to get Robin Williams on the show.
I know that
He wouldn't engage.
you say
maybe
that.
he would.
He likes video games.
He does like video
We
games.
know he's
Okay.
a Zelda person.
We could get Robin on the show.
So I think that he would actually engage a lot
Yeah.
more.
There's a
than
worry
you
sometimes
expect.
people who are too high energy like that will not like focus in, but actually I think he will. I think
yeah.
giving him the hey, like everybody who ever cast him in a drama, give him the opportunity to be earnest and he knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
God, he was good.
It's what he
God.
wants, and he's endearing.
God, Robin Williams just had the capacity
We are
to
at
do
a
little
point where children are not growing up with Robin Williams.
But you know when
I
you see
don't
Robin
know
Williams,
if my youngest niece knows who he is.
you know when you see Robin Williams in even the slightest, like even in comedic roles, but where he has like a moment of being a little bit sad and smiling, and it's you just get so he just draws
Brutal.
you in with his pathos.
Ugh.
It's really engaging.
Yeah.
What about Genghis Khan? Yeah, surely there's some like who'd love puzzles? Like what about Archimedes? Archimedes did like the puzzles.
I'm scared of Archimedes.
You know
as well.
you know who'd enjoy telling stories in a fantasy world that we've made
Ooh,
up on
who's
the spot?
that?
Aristophanes. He'd love it. He'd be so into it. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm having so much fun. Yeah, I love this idea. You make a silly world and you're talking and you're kind of chatting about it." Aristophanes would love it.
I'd like to engage.
You
more
know
with-
who wouldn't love it?
Who?
W.S. Gilbert.
Oh no, certainly not.
For a man who
Oh,
makes funny comedic operas,
he would be miserable.
He hates
Yeah,
fun.
furious.
Apparently, he was like, you'd be like, and then the ducks. He'd be like, ducks can't talk.
I'd like to give the opportunity to some of the famous like women nerds from history who weren't allowed
Yeah.
to be nerds.
Or what ones you were? What if we got Ada on?
Maybe
what
some
if we
of
got,
them as
What if we got
well.
old Lovelace on? And we could talk about video games.
Oh,
You
wouldn't
think
that make
Ada
her
Lovelace
happy?
wouldn't want to talk about video games with us?
Oh, how nice would that be?
Yeah, let's get Ada on.
Okay.
All right, done. Question answered. Also, if you could have any fictional character in your show, who would you choose?
That's
So
much harder.
fictional character, a genie, because they can be on the show, but they can also give some wishes. That'd be nice. I'd love a couple of wishes. That's quick answer. We've
Let's
got
go
no time.
with Alistair from Dragon Age because you want him to be doing everything. He's
He
so
really loves it.
nice.
We'd do a whole bit where it's like swooping is bad, and he wouldn't realize that's the thing that he says because he's like, "What do you mean? I haven't played the games. I just was in them." All right. Okay, we have another. We're almost there. There's three
Okay,
emails.
let's blast through.
Here we go. We're
Three.
gonna go quickly.
Okay.
From E,
Mhm.
they've asked. So they suggest talking about like they're currently working on their own audio escape room that is Star Wars
Okay.
based, and asks, what do we think about using that sort of thing in our podcast? Do we need to generify things? Have you ever found yourself writing something based on a book or a movie and then decide to change stuff so it becomes generic so that we can use it on the show? Or does it not matter and you prefer to make things in your own universe?
I used to be more scared of that, like back in season 1, where I wouldn't even say the word Furby.
Yeah.
But
since then, we've done an entire Yu-Gi-Oh room that was just called the Yu-Gi-Oh room with all the characters from Yu-Gi-Oh
Look, there are some
set at the
things-
Kame Game Shop with Kaiba in it.
I probably wouldn't. It wasn't set at the Kame Game
Set
Shop.
at
It
the
was set in the
Kame Game
Shadow
Shop.
Realm that had a depiction of the Kame Game Shop. But Look, I probably still, because this is a show that we make money off, I probably am going to be disinclined to publicly put something with Disney property out there because they're frightening. Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like because, I wrote fan fiction of it when I was 13, it feels like everything I do is a love letter to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
So I don't feel as bad about that.
I would say in general it's nice. It's fun to work in your own universe.
It's
I
fun
enjoy that. It's fun.
It is, but I don't mind a good tongue-in-cheek use of these things, like saying, we all know what I'm talking about, I'm just not going to say it.
I will say, we talk a lot about not wanting to do ads and things on the show. This is probably... and I don't know if this is necessarily like a good idea or anything that I would actually do, but it is one of the only things I've considered as like sponsored branded content that I think would be like fun to do.
That was kind of how I felt like when I had one of my rooms and it was just set on a beach and I changed it to be Point Break themed.
Yeah, we did a Point Break one.
Our friend Neil from Triviality had a Patrick Swayze book coming out.
Yes, and we wanted to talk about the book,
celebrate.
so we thought we'd do that. Again, it hasn't come up, and I would want to make sure that we had real creative control. Like, I'd be very quick to pull the plug on a deal like this that didn't allow us to do whatever the hell we wanted. But
True.
The idea of just being like, you know what? There's a new whatever coming out. Do you want to set a thing in that universe? It does make me
from
feel
a fictional
little
perspective,
bit...
not like there's a new Alexa coming out or something.
Yes,
not product placement wise.
But if it was something that we already liked and wanted to work in that space, like okay, let's say right now someone buys the rights to Arcanum, the video game from the year 2000.
Yeah.
2000? When did Arcanum come out? 2002?
Like 2000.
2001? Maybe
Right.
2001. Pretty early.
Early 2000s.
No, early than that. I used to think 2004, but early.
Okay.
I think it's like 2001.
Right.
One of my favorite games. If someone bought the rights to that and went, I'm remaking Arcanum, I'm doing Arcanum 2 to help spread the word, would you want to design an escape room? And I'd be like, yeah, we'll do it for our show. Give us some money. Great. And now it's going to be set in Tarrant. You start in the Boyle, but you didn't want to end up there, so you have to head back into the Gilbert Bates. You work for Gilbert Bates, but you're living in Tarrant, and you've woken up in the middle of the Boyle. How did you get here? Oh no, you realize that someone has stolen from him. Oh, so you have to get those things back, and then you end up going all through Tarrant. You end up at the P.T. Barnum version, whatever it's called in Arcanum, I can't remember.
P.T. Okay.
Yeah, there's a guy who has a little freak show. And you have to go in there and rescue someone from there. You get down into the sewers and you get to explore Tarrant. It's really lovely. You jump on all the little the auto...
But in general,
travel
I
systems.
am incredibly
100%.
supportive of fan fiction, and this is just a new medium of fan fiction.
Yeah.
So
it's probably
love
the only
it.
form of with many, many caveats, so it doesn't feel too much like actual advertising. The biggest form of like sponsored content I would ever do. So
yeah,
that's maybe one I would expect. I would allow on the show.
I think
I
that's
think
fair.
it's a bit of fun.
Yeah. What's next?
All right, get
We're
out
almost
of
finished.
here. Question now that we've answered you. Get out of here. All right, next. Let's do. Oh, this is probably going to be a fairly short one because some of these we've already covered.
All right.
So, and actually a lot of this I think we've talked about before in general in various like behind the scenesy
Yeah, that's fair,
podcasts,
that's
escapes,
fair.
things like that.
Okay.
So from TJ, why and how did we form the podcast?
Because you wanted to start a podcast, and I said, all right, but we got to come up with something better than reading Wikipedia articles. Then at this point, we had done somewhere between 1 and 6 escape rooms in our
And we thought,
lives.
what if that works? And we've both done tabletop role playing. We
Yes.
both had like run campaigns and things.
And we
thought,
knew that people had
I
D&D
wonder
podcasts.
if there's a way. Yeah, it was kind of like our way of doing an actual play podcast, but in something new and unique. And it felt really good. And so we gave it a try. We pitched it. We actually invited, I've said this many times, but I'll go through it once more, I think. Maybe I haven't talked through all this. A friend of mine, Greg, who is it's a very funny guy, very interesting, he's very cool. He's a very nice guy. He's one of my oldest friends. He's absolutely wonderful. He designed our logos for both Escape This Podcast and Solve This Murder. We had a brainstorm session in our old apartment, which was the size of half a shoebox, sitting around the table, just thinking of podcast ideas. And we did a version of this on the fly during that conversation while throwing out a whole bunch of random stuff to think about. And it worked out really well. And we thought, hey, this is great. Where did the idea come from? As we said, that's where it came. And how good was the first episode? I really like our first episode.
Yeah,
Sound,
look.
not that good.
sound gotten a lot better. Flow and everything like that gotten a lot better, but compared to some people where they start with podcasts and things like that, not bad. I am happy that it is out there. Some people say, oh, don't release your first few episodes because it'll take you a while.
Can I delete my first episode? It's so not good anymore.
It's
Ours
not
gives a very
my
clear idea of what the show is.
I'm
People
happy it's
still
there.
like playing that room. It's very enjoyable. It's funny. It's interesting. The Hint Ghost was invented there. We've already talked about the Hint Ghost today. I'm really proud of our early episodes. There's plenty of stuff that we got better at, especially technical stuff in terms of sound quality and things like that. But I think we hit the ground running with a good idea, and it was good from the beginning. That was not only the first episode of this show, that was the first creative thing I had ever put out and published in any context. And I think it went really, really well. Yeah. I'm really proud of it, and I'm really happy. It's never going to disappear. How did we meet? Already answered within this AMA. Go. We can listen to earlier episodes.
Episode 1, 2.
I think it was in the first episode of this AMA. You can go back and listen to that.
Nice.
Thank you so much, TJ. Last email, last question, I believe, of the AMA. Because even though this is the last email, it is 2 emails in as they came up with more questions.
Oh, okay. Okay,
so
let's do it.
Let's do real quick. Okay.
Who is it from?
This is from T.
Okay.
Actually, it's from Tom.
Okay.
So, how do you find guests for the show? That's been my job the entire time. It started just friends that we had in real life that we could get physically into a room with us. It then moved on to Twitter. I often talk about the fact that I don't believe social media does anything real for podcast audience growth. It does very, very little. In my opinion, in my experience, social media is not a big indicator of growth, but it is a great way to network. In fact, that's what I used to use Twitter for. I would find other independent creators.
Yeah, back in the day when it was Twitter.
Back when it was Twitter.
From there, it just started being like a little bit aspirational. We would meet people in the escape room industry, and then
just say,
later on, puzzle industry, video game industry, and getting into that. And also just thinking, anytime we see a piece of media and go, wow, it looks like that person would enjoy puzzles and escape rooms.
Yes.
Let's get in contact with
I will
them.
say the big criteria, obviously we want, like, it's nice to have people with an audience because audience crossover and guests bringing some of their audience to the show is a big part of growth. But
I just want to make people happy now.
Is that that they'll enjoy it and that they will produce a good episode of the show. That they're funny, that they're the right type of person. So it is often when we find out that people like puzzles and escape rooms, we invite them on. Sometimes we have guests on and they're good, but like sometimes we'll have people where it's like, oh, you've come on through like another person or that, and you don't really like puzzles that much. You're very funny. This is great. We'll get a good episode out of it. But it's nice. It's really good when you get someone who clearly cares and is earnestly engaging in the puzzles.
And it doesn't have to be like in an I work in puzzles sort of way. Therefore, that sort of passion. Yeah.
Like we got the first time we reached out to Jason Ritter was because we'd seen him do an escape room on Janet Varney's show.
Exactly.
And then when we reached out to Janet Varney, it was because she had an escape room show.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun. Like. It's a nice way you want people who are enthusiastic about the thing you're doing and that they have an audience that would be enthusiastic about the thing you're doing if that's the criteria that you're looking at in terms of growth. Like sometimes we will just get people on because we think they're very, very cool or they've asked and they seem nice. And sometimes look, this is not going to do much for us because their audience is definitely not going to listen to an escape room podcast, but it's fun anyway. I often think that, to be honest, about when we have Cambo and Eden on.
Oh yeah, their audience is movie enthusiasts.
They are wonderful. I absolutely love them. They're brilliant people, and I know they'll create a really good episode of our show. Mm-hmm. I've never really expected their audience to come and listen because they're there for movie facts, Hollywood ideas, and recreations of scenes.
Much less crossover than a lot of our when we have game-based people come on. But we like them.
Do I reach out more? Do people reach out to us more? And have we found that ratio has changed over time? 100%. Early on, I don't think anybody reached out to say, can I be on your show until we were 6 years in,
Uh,
except for Neil Patrick Harris, who emailed us and said, "Put me on your show."
The Room Escape Divas,
and the Divas
reached out
reached
to
out,
us
yeah.
more as a welcome to the community
Yes,
than
that was
anything
lovely.
else. But yeah, that counts
that's
as well.
true.
But yeah,
I think honestly, until
it could've been
recently, it
Neil.
was probably just I think Neil was the second person to ask to be on our show.
But yeah, as time has gone by,
More
like,
people are reaching out,
little
saying,
handfuls.
"Hey, I know the show." Like it happens. It happens not uncommonly. There's quite a few people who've been on recent episodes of the show that reached out to us first.
That's true.
because
The
we-
data wizards from Only Connect, they reached out to
Yeah.
us. So yeah, a couple of examples out there. But I would
I
still
think
say,
Eric Silver reached out to us
oh really?
first before coming on the show. So from Join the Party.
Oh nice. Yes,
It happens more and more as time goes by. I can't always. We do have people who have reached out to be on the show, and it hasn't
Oh,
happened.
there have been some where it's
yet.
taken months plus to get anything even faintly happening.
But it does.
Like, how long did it take to get Ilan on after?
Oh yeah.
Like,
That was
he reached
that was,
out
I felt
first,
so bad
right?
about it, yeah.
And that took so
Ilan
long.
reached out really early, and we were
Oh.
like, "Yes, we'll make it happen." And it just kept. We had like a shorter, like it was harder to organize.
How about Rita? Oops.
I still don't believe that Rita Orlov ever reached out to us. She claims she reached out and we ignored her and never responded. I think she didn't reach out at all. I think there's an unsent
This is a years-long
email.
saga.
I think there's an unsent email sitting in her inbox that never got hit. That never got. I couldn't find the message. I searched and I couldn't find it. So yeah, look, people have reached out and it's really lovely. It's really nice when people reach out. And we've had them on the show. I like it when I especially love it now. I think at this point in I know this is not meant to be a quick response, but this is something new to talk about in the AMA. I think there's the other thing I really like doing with guests is knowing that they have a project that they want to promote that is an artistic project that is quite small. I quite like getting like small indie podcasters on because I understand the value of crossover for podcasts, and I want to help support. Like, I don't view guests as a thing that helps us. I think it's a mutual thing, and I like having a bigger audience and being able to expose a smaller show to a larger audience.
For example, we had the Curly Bros on years ago.
Yeah, when they were fairly kind of new in terms of doing board game stuff. I mean, lots of times.
Oh, plenty of
sometimes,
people.
especially sometimes we'll find a show and think, I enjoy this. I want more people to listen to it. Let's get them on the show, and hopefully more people will find them and listen and be aware of their show. So I think that's an important thing. And I think that's an important thing to do when you have any kind of capacity to help people out. It is good to do that. So sometimes people reach out and be like, hey, I've got this, a show where I do this. Can I be on your show? And often I like that. And I find it harder to get people on the show who are just fans of the show, or like, not fans, but just people who want to be on the show to play it because they think it'd be fun to play. Because I know that I can use this to help other people with a project that will often take precedent over this would just be fun for you. I like being able to expose all new audiences and do that sort of stuff. So if you reach out and you have like a indie podcast you want to be on, now we're going to get a lot of emails, but please do.
Here's the thing. The other good part about you reaching out to people as opposed to the other way around is that you know what time of year it is a good time to do that and when we are going to need people, as opposed to sometimes we'll get an email from someone and I will read it and I'll say, I would love to have an episode for you. I don't. Oh no, I'm going to panic now. Do I need to quickly write a room for these people?
If you email us right now and say, can I be on the show? The answer will be, oh, yes. There is no guest is going to be on this show until at least
sometime
February
next
year, right? Like, and it's going to be a while. So, but feel free. I like it when people reach out, but I can't always. We have more people reaching out than we have the capacity to get on the show.
And that even includes with guest game masters. Now, we always say if you have written a room and you want to run it for us on the show, we're going to say
get
yes,
to it eventually,
but
it takes there's a lot.
I'm so sorry. There are lots of you on that waiting list
we'll
right
hopefully
now.
be doing a lot of them with the rest of this year.
I hope so.
But
we have time.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We also have what's your favorite book and show at the moment?
All right. I have been really raving on Stuart Turton books.
Yes.
So he wrote
did we answer this recently
probably
as well?
7 deaths or 7.5 deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Fantastic. Most recently, what's it called? Like The Last Murder at the End of the World.
Nice. We were, because I was also talking about reading Georgette Heyer books at the
Yeah,
moment.
that's
and
true.
Quite enjoying them.
Mm.
So we've covered this recently in terms of shows. Again, it's hard. I don't like saying my favorite thing much. I will say we've just recently watched the entire first season of Desperate Housewives. It's good fun. It's nice to
It's
go back.
fun.
It's enjoyable.
A little bit of writing feels like they got a different writer, like 15
last couple
episodes
episodes,
in,
it's
and
kinda-
it's like
It's been a bit like, I feel like maybe some of these characters were more fleshed out in the early episodes.
you flanderized them, but not in the way that they were.
Yeah,
in
not
the early
not like
episodes.
more of what they were, but just a new character.
We'll
on
see
top
where
of them.
that goes. What
Yeah,
are some
okay.
shows that we find spectacular? Just each shows that we agree
Good Wife,
on.
absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
Good
it's
Fight.
always The Good Wife. I love it.
The Good
so
Wife
much.
is really, really good.
Oh, it's
That's
so
like
good.
our if you've met us in person, that's our classic recommender show.
Talk about it a
is
lot.
you got to watch Good Wife.
Love
You just
it.
got to watch The Good Wife. It's really good.
It's amazing.
I mean, lots of stuff. I mean, watch Community. That's great. If you didn't watch it, that's great. Watch a whole bunch of fun stuff.
30 Rock holds up.
30 Rock holds up. We watched that again recently. We watched it obviously when it was coming out and when it was new, and then we watched it recently, maybe a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
From beginning, expecting a lot of it to feel a bit like, oh, that joke wasn't as funny as I thought. It was the opposite.
It was better.
It was like, oh, I was too dumb to realize these jokes the first time I watched it. This is so good. It's so funny. God, 30 Rock, you watch it and you just think, yeah, actually, that's just really, really funny television.
Just go back and watch it again. Do you want to go back and watch it again?
Yeah. You know what else I feel like doing a rewatch of, even though I really shouldn't?
Huh?
Better Call Saul. That was a phenomenal show.
Fair enough.
Although you still haven't seen Breaking Bad,
I've
other than
seen
the first
season 1
so
of
we
Breaking Bad.
We should watch Breaking Bad together and then watch all of Better Call Saul together, and you can just be sad for a long time. That's what don't you love being sad when you watch media?
Yep, that's
famously.
Yep.
All right, it's very, very Better Call Saul is really good. All right, but there's more that are just currently not in the front of our brain of really good books, really good shows that we could recommend, but we're not gonna. All right, lovely. There's a couple more. These are that we're going to go real quick.
Okay.
Real quick.
Okay.
Danny, I haven't read any of these questions yet. We're doing one sentence responses.
All right.
For these, the final questions of the AMA.
Excellent.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Based on the action movies of the 80s, did you think that quicksand would be a real problem in life? Yes. As a child, yes. You expect there to be quicksand in life. I remember explicitly as a child seeing patches of sand and worrying that there could be quicksand.
It did feel like a thing.
Not because of movies, because of video games.
It did feel like things that other kids would make a point of, oh, this is sand, this is quicksand.
Yeah. I think as a kid, I assumed at a golf course that if you got that you personally could get yourself completely stuck in a sand trap.
No.
Not just the ball.
All right, that's more than one sentence.
Favorite podcast that you have been a guest on? Finish It, Cancel Movie Report, Lateral, etc.
Huh. That's challenging. They're all great.
I think that honestly, that list of Finish It, Cancel Movie Report, and Lateral,
Good job, Brain.
and Good Job Brain, these are the ones that are legitimately in our every week, every new episode comes out
Save your game.
episode rotation. Save Your Game I really love. I find, and I think it's brilliant.
We can't
harder
listen to
to-
every episode because of
because-
spoilers.
Well, I am very spoiler averse. I just want to know if something's good, and I don't want to know any details whatsoever. Like, if something is coming out and we know we will probably play it, I won't watch any trailers or
Not at all.
anything, or if we're going to watch
Same.
it. So I find Save Your Game, it's not part of my regular rotation. I think it's a phenomenal show.
Yeah, we seek out specific episodes to listen to when we want to hear
Yeah.
what they have to
But
say about
Cancelled
games.
Movie Report and Finish It. Lateral is super popular, right? And it deserves to be. And it's
Yes.
very, very good. I think Finish It and Cancelled Movie Report would be very high on my list of, I don't know how many people are listening to this, but I know it is nowhere near enough. I think they are two of the best made podcasts that exist in the world.
Yeah, I love all of the shows that we've been on. They all do
Oh, yeah,
absolutely
absolutely
amazing,
wonderful.
wonderful work.
Everything I've done with Level 1 Geek, I love
course.
being on it with Level 1 Geek. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Cancelled Movie Report has possibly the highest ratio of look at the insane amounts of work and passion and knowledge they put into
Yeah.
what they're doing, ratioed with needs more recognition for this.
And I think Finish It is so funny and
Oh, it's
so interesting. It's
hilarious.
such a good concept, and
They have
the Yules-
they have a great episode 1.
great episode 1. They
Amazing
have such
first
good
impression.
chemistry. They have they're so talented. Their musical stuff is so good. the kind of thing where on other shows that might be obnoxious, but instead, if I hear that some new jangle is coming that I haven't heard before, I'm so excited to hear them. They're just fantastic.
I love their housekeeping
really
section.
It's fantastic.
Good job, Brain. I've been listening to for
forever,
over a decade.
And they're so nice and supportive of us as well, and just so easy to listen to and so engaging on topics that can, in other people's hands, come out dry and
it's
hard to
exactly
listen
what
to.
you want from trivia stuff, to just hear people who are excited about learning.
And I will say, if we've been on your show and we haven't just mentioned it, we loved being on your show.
It's for speed.
These are just the ones that are literally both in this question, so they're front of mind because they were just mentioned to us, and also the ones that we legitimately just listen to every single week.
Yeah.
If we could be on
Possibly more recent.
My Brother and Me, which does not have guests very often at all,
that would certainly get a mention.
Part of a big. That's one of the ones that was one of the first. I think the first podcast you ever listened to.
Yeah.
And I think the second podcast I ever listened to. The first one is now no longer in production. And we've been listening literally every week since they had ABBA as their theme song. Like, that's been a thing that we have been listening to religiously since it started.
Another one that I sort of yes and no wouldn't want to be a guest on is Dungeons and Daddies, who we've had on our show. I wouldn't want to be a guest on because I would never be able to live up to the unbelievable guests that they have had on. Their guest episodes are possibly the best guest episodes of any podcast ever.
I feel like they usually spend
so funny.
I feel like they usually spend their guest episodes being like, "Oh, we're not very funny. Look at this cool new guest."
Their guests are unbelievable.
But there we go. I think especially Finish It and Count to Move Report. Lateral is super successful and deserves to be. Those two,
we're highlighting them because they want it more.
Yeah, everyone needs to be. If you haven't listened to Finish It and you're listening to this, you need to. They're fantastic. There you go. Have you ever felt like bullying the Yule Brothers into making one of your Finish It episodes into their musical episode? It'd be fun.
If they did the writing of it, then absolutely. I'd love that.
One thing I do think is I would love to be
musical episode.
I would love to be writing more. I keep thinking I should be writing more songs for Finish It. I want to write a couple more read tease jangles for them.
Your last read tease was like 2 minutes long.
It was not 2 minutes long. It was like 1 minute long.
Yeah.
I still get stuck in my head the I'm Matt Yule song that we sang.
Yes, you do.
That we sang.
We?
That I sang when we were pretending to be Matt Yule for an episode. I want to write more songs for Finish It because it's funny.
Okay, you and them collaborate with it and then just tell me what to sing and I'll do it.
All right, we'll do it. Let's make a musical episode. Also, we're dead.
What?
This is the premise of the next question.
Okay.
You and I have died.
All right.
What inanimate object or animal, honestly, a weird question, would you like to be reincarnated as? I'd be a tree.
A lost anchor at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's fun. You be an anchor, I'll be a tree.
You'll become a host to a bunch of animals. You'll become your own coral reef. You'll get to see so much going on down there.
Yeah.
Except you won't. Okay, it can't be too deep or you won't be able to see anything. But
let's assume you can see. You got anchor senses.
All right, that's what I'm
And that is the end of the 5-week AMA.
That was the last one.
It went from this episode was just as long as the last
asteroid
one.
as well.
What, you like to come back as an asteroid, or there's also an asteroid about to hit the Earth?
Oh no, that's how we died.
I thought you were like, is the end of the AMA?
That's how we died.
Asteroid,
and then I reincarnate into the asteroid that killed us.
That'd be pretty fun.
That's how it works. Yeah, you get to see more of the world.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This is the soft start of the new season. There is a new episode of Escape This Podcast, but it is a video special. It is available on YouTube. Go and check it out. There's a link in the show notes.
We did it, guys. We did it.
Next week is a new episode of the new season with some fun guests, and it's also going to be part of National Science Week in Australia.
Yay!
So there's a whole bunch of fun sciencey stuff going on, and because of that, people who've been looking at upcoming events for National Science Week may have already known that the episode is going to be called Goats. That's your teaser for next week. That's not a thing we usually give, but we've given one now. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back with a really fun season.
Real episodes.
Episodes coming and kind of out now. So check it out. Thank you, everybody. Be cool and never don't be cool. That's our advice, like it always is at the end of every episode. That's a movie. Oh yeah, also listen to Block Blunders.
Oh, yeah.
It's finished now.
Those
There's
guys.
120 episodes. You can listen to the whole thing.
Oh yeah, binge and be done.
Binge and
That's
be
pretty
done.
tempting.